Give us clean hands, give us pure hearts. Let us not lift our souls to another. Give us clean hands, give us pure hearts. Let us not lift our souls to another. Oh God, let us be a generation that seeks your face, oh God of Jacob.
Good evening. Last week we talked about faith and how it's the foundational basis for our relationship with God and for our relationship with each other, and how important it is that we have faith. But tonight, what we're going to be talking about is, some translations will say virtue, others will say moral excellence, as the second building block in having a healthy relationship with God. Now, I don't know about you, but that kind of fascinates me, because I understand the foundational nature of faith, but to move from faith immediately to moral excellence is an interesting step up, because Peter could have said, the next most important thing is love, the next most important thing is brotherly kindness, but that's not where he goes. He says, as you start building your life spiritually, you begin with faith and you follow that with moral excellence. Now, why is that? Because I believe that moral excellence is incredibly important. And the more you think about this and consider this, and the more we'll discuss this, I think the more that truth will come out. Today, morality is increasingly a debatable issue. I never envisioned that there would be a time in my life when morals would be in such flux and there would be such discussion about, well, what's moral and what isn't. But brothers and sisters, we're there. We're living in a time when every moral absolute is being challenged. Doesn't make any difference what it is. And when there are very powerful voices advocating, well, just go your own way, kind of roll your own morality, do your own thing, it'll be just fine. What I want you to think about with me for just a couple of minutes is how flawed that thinking is, how ridiculous that thinking is. When you talk about laws, and I believe there are moral laws and there are physical laws. When you talk about laws, those laws are absolute. And if you contradict those laws, if you choose to ignore them, invariably, there are consequences to that. Let me give you an example. This big tree. Let's say I have 3 or 4 children out here, boys, and they're all 7 or 8 years old. And I tell them, hey, climb up in the tree and you all just jump around and swing on the limbs and play like squirrels and just have a ball. And don't worry about falling out. I mean, it'll be just fine. It won't hurt you. If I were to do something like that, that would be criminal, wouldn't it? Because you know and I know that the law of gravity would hurt those children. When they fell out of that tree and they hit the ground, there could be some incredibly serious consequences to that. Ignoring that law has consequences. Listen, ignoring moral laws also has serious consequences to it. To take those same children today, as people are trying to do, and tell them, oh, well, if you want to do drugs as you get older, that's your choice. If you want to drink alcohol, that's your choice. If you want to be involved in illicit sexual activities of various kinds, hey, that's your right, that's your privilege, that's your choice. Don't worry about it. To me, that's criminal. Because you are setting these children up for harm. Because breaking these moral laws have just as real consequences as breaking physical laws. It's kind of a dirty little secret that a lot of people don't know because the media doesn't cover it. But the fact of the matter is that this country has a horrific rate of sexually transmitted diseases. And it's only getting worse. Everybody is aware of the horrific problem that we have with teen pregnancy. And the list of consequences from drug usage to alcohol abuse to other things just goes on and on. And on the one hand, we have people saying, oh, well, do whatever you want to do. There's no problem, no consequence to it. On the other hand, we're paying an horrific price for that every day. That's why it's so important that as Christians, as parents and grandparents, as godly young people, that we do our very best, not only to teach morality as it's taught in Scripture, but live that morality as well. And so, as we talk about moral excellence, I want you to keep in mind just how important moral is. These moral laws by which we're to live are given to us by God. He didn't accidentally tell us, listen, you shall not commit adultery. You shall not bear false witness. You shall not steal. You go into 1 Corinthians chapter 6 or Galatians chapter 5 and the sins of the flesh that are listed there. He doesn't accidentally say that there are attitudes and actions that are not to be a part of our lives. Why? Because those have consequences. Think about this. A child falls out of a tree, they break a leg, they break an arm. It hurts. There's a consequence. But what hurts more? A broken leg, a broken arm, or broken heart? Ultimately, what's more painful? A shattered ankle or shattered dreams? What's worse? A broken clavicle or a broken marriage? One of the things we need to understand is that if we ignore moral laws, there are consequences, and those consequences are long-term. That's why it's so very, very important that as people of God, we hold on to the principles that God has given to us in regard to how we're going to live. And so this evening, I would encourage you to be open with one another and to share with one another, and let's openly, honestly take a hard look at what it is to be a people who today hold to moral standards. God bless. Thank you.
Oh God, let us be a generation that seeks your face. Oh God of Jacob, oh God, let us be a generation that seeks your face. Oh God of Jacob.